Hey everybody, it's Polaris. I'm going to see Linkin Park today, and I've known about this for almost a year now about going to this concert, and my brain I think always knew subconsciously, and especially as the day got closer, I was having a lot of energy kind of building up, but I wasn't really consciously aware, and I finally sat down and told myself like you do realize you're gonna go see Linkin Park, the same Linkin Park you've been listening to and dreaming of seeing since you were a little girl. Like you do realize that, right? And I'm like, and then the realization hit. I've been very emotional. So also, I hope it's not too loud since I have the microphone. But I'm heating up some water because I'm gonna be making myself some tea, and I'm a fan on because I'm making breakfast. I've been up since 10. 2:22 when I look at the time. I'm sorry. This is why I believe God and the universe, it's a bigger being and it exists 111 on the timer, people. Anyways, hang on, let me Okay, I just finished cooking and then making the tea because I just needed to just have a little bit of less distractions right now. But I just wasn't fully it hadn't really settled in, but I've been telling myself, I'm like you need to let yourself be excited for this. This has been absolutely a childhood dream. So I wanted to talk about Linkin Park and how much this means to me. Also, super quick, I had to show, okay, not the best angle for my outfit, but I'm wearing a dress and I'm gonna have my hair down all curly and I'm so excited. But so little old me, 14-year-old me, about 14, somewhere around there. Probably younger. Anyways, doesn't matter. She grew up in the military. Okay, let me talk myself in a third person. I grew up in the military, and when my dad retired from the Navy, we had our big life in the city. Everything. I really thought my whole life was planned out. I was ready to go. We get plucked up by God, the universe, and put in a small freaking town, which I appreciate and love. But that little girl, this was not the spot for her to be in, and I was not happy. And I definitely dealt with a lot of deep, heavy emotions that I really didn't know how to talk about or articulate. And so I felt like no one understood me, and I felt really alone and isolated. And it was really challenging. It was really hard. And I was one day listening to an Avril Lavigne Pandora playlist, and I feel like everyone knows Linkin Park, but they don't know Linkin Park is Linkin Park. Everyone knows Numb in the End or New Divide from Transformers, but you don't realize that's Linkin Park, right? But so I'm listening to this Pandora playlist, and Linkin Park New Divide comes on. I'm like, wait a second, I know this song. And then I went onto YouTube and looked up their music, and I just went down the rabbit hole, and I'm like, this is the best music ever. I refuse to listen to anyone else. I actually did. I refused to listen to any other music if it wasn't Linkin Park for a few months, if I'm not gonna lie. It was funny too because I made new friends after finding Linkin Park, and especially I moved, so I'm finding new friends, connecting with people differently, and they would try and recommend me different rock artists. I'm like, no, I don't want to listen to that. Eventually did, but I was hardcore obsessed when I first found them. Confession, I made a PowerPoint about Linkin Park. Did anyone else have a PowerPoint phase? I did for Linkin Park. Anyways, no one saw it to my knowledge. Anyways, but I finally for me, it was so important to me because I finally found people and an art that was articulating what I was feeling inside, and I for the first time didn't feel alone, and it was I was able to get out my feelings, and they just meant so much to me, and they really seriously helped me through. Sorry, I just see lights out there. They helped me get through the hardest points of my life, and I've kind of touched on it before, but I truly didn't want to be here. There's points in my life where I didn't want to be here, And listening to Linkin Park just helped remind me that I wasn't alone with what I'm feeling, and if they can get out of it and make a whole life for themselves, then why can't I? And they actually also were the big inspiration as why I even started to play my guitar, because at that point I hadn't played the guitar, and I don't know, I don't think I really thought about learning the guitar until I listened to Linkin Park, and I was like, that's it. I got my first guitar, and sorry, I'm a little emotional because my first guitar was given to me by my great grandma Diane, and she passed away. And that first guitar I still have, and I still love that thing. And I'm just talking about the emotions as they're coming. I've been really nostalgic today and having a lot of old feelings come up, and I'm opening them with, or I'm allowing them in with open arms. But I got my first guitar from her, and here I am. Here I am today. I listened to Linkin Park so much as a kid that when I listen back to certain songs, I can see myself playing Roblox with my siblings and my friends because I would just listen to like the same songs while I was playing those games. So now it's so fun. It just reminds me of all the good times. And I kept listening to Linkin Park, and as some of you probably know, Chester Bennington, who was the lead singer of Linkin Park, he unfortunately unalived himself. I don't know how YouTube is with me saying that phrase, but he passed away. And I remember that moment when I found out. I was in one of my college classes. I was in a statistics final of all things, and the classmates were all just like talking like before class started, just like whatever's going on in the world, news, anything. And they're like, oh my gosh, did you guys hear that lead singer? What was his name from Linkin Park? What was his name? And I was like, my ears were like turned over. I'm like eavesdropping. I'm like, oh yeah, what was his name? And I was like, Chester Bennington. And they're like, yeah, him. Yeah, he. And they said it. I don't want to say it how they said it because, like I said, I don't know YouTube, but they're like, they just said it, just very blunt. And I was like, what? My heart's racing thinking about it. And I was like, no, like that, him, I was such in denial. And at least in my memory, they were like really harsh about it. Like, yeah, he's dead. And I was like, and I just started bawling. I left the classroom because I just could not control my emotions. I was gonna cry remembering it. It's still hard when someone who was a symbol of strength and that I didn't have to do that thing ends up doing that thing. And there's so many emotions coming up of one, like, especially because I never got to see them live, and I had opportunities to see them, but something would come up, and so I never got to see them live. So there was like regret of not just going and seeing them, and resentment for the people who like I thought didn't let me see them, And then there's also like, is there hope? Is there hope? Like if the guy who I thought saved my life is doing that, is there hope? And it was just so many swirling emotions. And I remember like my like dad after work, when he came in after the class, when he picked us up, he was like, he gave me a hug, and I just started crying again. He's like, I thought you knew. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it's been 2 weeks. I'm like, 2 weeks? I didn't know. And I was just, I was definitely a mess. That was like, it was hard, to say the least. And I struggled with it for a while. And I just let it go. Well, not let it go, but I eventually let it go, of just like, every time like I think about him, I just like pray for his family and pray for everyone, and just hope that they've healed, So I'm kind of losing my train of thought. That was a lot of emotions that was coming up right now. But I just use that as motivation to continue getting help instead of it making me feel hopeless. I just continue like, I can't do that to my family, and I can't, like, I need to like see this through. Like I literally prayed to the universe. I was like, please, like, I never want to miss out on a concert ever again. Like, there's just no way. Because at that point, I'd never really been to a concert, especially for like a group that I like truly, truly love. I never really went to like a concert I wanted to go to, And I was like, please, like, I need this. I can't do that. And the next concert that came up was I Prevail, which, like, I Prevail, Linkin Park, and Bring Me the Horizon are all, like, really close of how much they mean to me. And so when I found out Linkin Park, when I found out I Prevail was touring, I was going. I didn't care if I went by myself. I wasn't going to miss out on it. And my mom drove me, and it was the best experience of my life. And I was like, I can't stop this. And I just kept taking those leap of faith, even if it meant doing it alone. And the next big thing was like going to Vegas by myself, on a plane by myself, and like going on that adventure. And then I would do road trips, and then keep going to more concerts and just pushing the limits. And then I freaking finally got to go to Australia. And that's why I believe everything happens for a reason. And it all stemmed from regret, but choosing to just, instead of it like break me down, I just found strength in it and courage to just keep doing the things since I regretted that, do the opposite. Don't have those regrets anymore. Don't miss out on those opportunities. And I just kept pushing myself. And I can't cry yet. I gotta let it last just a couple more hours. But I've always known the universe gives you all that you wish for. And sometimes that wish can even be like greater than what you even expect. But when I tell you that, when I tell you that the word saying I'm gonna go see Linkin Park is coming out of my mouth right now, it feels so unreal, and I truly thought that was impossible. Absolutely impossible. There's no way, but there was that little part of me deep inside that held on to hope of like, well, maybe I'll see like Mike Shinoda one day, or like maybe I'll run into them. Like I just held on to a little bit of hope that maybe I would still meet them. But the fact that I'm gonna see them live, oh my gosh, oh, please, I have makeup. Let's just get through. It's just unreal. Having this happen, I'm like, well, nothing's impossible. Like it's just like opened my eyes. Like I've already like trusted so much in the universe, but this is like breaking something that I truly didn't think was fathomable. Fathomable? I don't know if that's the right word, but that's what came out. It feels impossible. Like I feel like, I don't know. I know I usually say the word surreal, but like I feel so grounded that I'm like, of course this was gonna happen one day. Of course, because I get everything I want. Like it's like a different. There's like different like mindsets happening of like just anything is possible. But in case I don't check back in, I do probably want to check back in after the concert. But I just want to get my initial feelings out and talk about it. This is just so unreal. And I'm so grateful that I was able to, one, go through that heartache to like push me forward to go on all those adventures, because if that didn't happen, I probably would have just kept putting off going to concerts because there was no repercussions for missing a concert, but the fact that there was a repercussion and I got to learn from it and grow from it, and now I got rewarded in the end. And I mean, all those concerts were all rewards, but the fact, I just can't. It's just so, I'm sweating. I'm so hot right now. It is. But I probably will check back in the concert after the concert. But if not, I love you all. And literally anything is possible. Even if you think it's impossible, if there's a little piece of hope inside of you, just let your soul hold on to that little piece of hope, because maybe it's actually not impossible. Just maybe. I'm about to start heading over to the concert. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I know I don't really need anything, so I just like pretended in my head to like just grab my younger self, because I don't know what I feel like I'm forgetting. I don't need anything. I got my wallet, I got my keys, I got my shoes, I got a sweater just in case this is actually happening. I I've been excited for concerts, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I've ever been this excited before. Oh my gosh. Ugh. It's okay if I cry. I know that, but I'm trying to make the makeup last all day, okay? But I can accept and feel how much this means to me. And I just... This is real. This is real. This is real life. That was more than a dream come true. That was more than I ever could have imagined. That was seriously the best concert of my life, and that was worth the wait, basically the 10-year wait to see it. I have let out a lot of emotions, and I've cried a lot because it's just been like, it's like, obviously as to the fact that I got to see Linkin Park live when I literally thought even just that was impossible. But even like songs, I was like, oh, I really wish I could hear this one live, or I wish I could have heard this one live. Like those specific songs they played, like I definitely was not expecting them to play Encore / Numb. I was not expecting them to play that, but the fact that they did, like they started off with like Encore and then switched it to Numb, which is I screamed. I literally screamed at that. And then the next song I was like, oh, this would be so cool to hear live was Lost. I was not expecting them to play that one either, and they played that. And I really wanted to hear Bleed It Out live. I was like, this song would be so cool live, hearing the crowd like clap. Like I've always dreamed of seeing that as a kid, like seeing that song live. Got to see that live. And obviously every other song was absolutely awesome, and it was so cool. They're such great performers, and I'm really grateful I got to see them. And I'm grateful I got to experience it with my family and my friends, and I just keep saying it, anything is possible. Because all those little dreams came true tonight, right? All these little hopes and desires that even though what I thought truly was impossible all came true. And it was also so much fun too, because, you know, they're playing all their songs, you know? And so some of the songs I hadn't like listened to in a while because they weren't like songs I listened to on repeat or anything. And it was like, it brought up like old fun memories of like listening to them and like trying to learn all the songs, and you know, it was just awesome, and the crowd was absolutely freaking insane. I've been to a K-pop concert, and they were louder than the K-pop concert. Like, backtrack, you don't need that. You have the crowd singing every word and knew every song basically, and everyone was like, I was just so in the moment. And this morning I set the intention and asked the universe to help me stay present and grounded today. I was like, I just, please, more than anything, please let me be so present in this moment today. And I was just looking around and seeing people in the crowd and how they're like dancing and headbanging and singing and having a great time. And I'd say like I was with my friends and family, so it was like seeing their faces and their reactions and seeing them performing, seeing how their faces, their reactions, how they're dancing too, and everything. Like, it was just I did take a couple videos, I will say, because I was like I want to be able to still look back a little bit. So I will probably post them. I might do a separate post on that. But it was amazing. I made myself right now some tea. Have I shown this? I think it was like in a background in my art video. This is a little lid. Look at that. And then has the baby spoon. And then it's on the back says cat and butterfly. I love kitties and I love butterflies. So I was like, this is literally the most perfect mug there is. Yes, I made myself some tea. I'm going to wake up after a shower, and I'm so grateful. Just thank you to my parents for just this experience that I got to experience today. And thank you to Linkin Park for being awesome. And I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful to be alive, and I'm grateful to be here and got to experience that dream come true. And it was more than I could have expected. So, yeah.